My lords, ladies and gentlemen, may I say it's a great honour to be stood here today celebrating the marriage of William and Kate. What an amazing
Just say they sound a lot better rehearsed.
Okay, so down to business. Can you all hear me in the back?
Yes. Reaction, please.
Positive response.
Just firstly, I've got 21 minutes.
Firstly, it's got less than 10 minutes on the sweep. It's probably going to last more than that. But I've got 19, so I'm going to try and string it out.
Sorry, what was that last one?
Right. Ladies, gentlemen and friends, my name is Matthew. For those fortunate enough to know me will appreciate I'm a confident, self-assured man, renowned for my ability to remain defiant in the face of adversity, a man who never shies away from a challenge or lets down a friend. That said, it's a very nerve-wracking time for me today, so let me just apologise in advance for any mistakes or poor delivery. We had both hoped to memorise it, but we're going to read it. So now the excuses are out of the way, I'd like to say that it's an honour for me to be sharing the best man duties with my good friend David. Steve has opted for an unconventional approach for today's celebration to appoint two best men. I was obviously chosen for my unshakable reliability and organisational skills. David was chosen because they wanted at least one best man to look good in the photo. Now Emma was worried that by employing two best men, the speech might drag out for a while. So she said that the speech would be no longer than the duration of Steve's lovemaking. So with that in mind, sorry, that was a cheap shot. About a minute and a half. I'm going to pass on to Dave.
Thank you very much. I would like to echo Matthew's sentiments, as it truly is an honour to be stood here today. It is true I was selected for this responsibility purely on my good looks. I thought it was true.
No chance.
May I begin by saying how wonderful Emma looks today? Her beauty is only matched by the military precision of today's operation. Although Steve's attempt to jump out of the car on the way to the church was a bit of a low point. Emma is not only beautiful, but generally one of the loveliest people you could hope to meet. She has an amazing sense of humour, an attribute exemplified by the fact that today she's decided to walk down the aisle with Steve. Jokes aside, Steve really is a very lucky man. At this point, I'd also like to say how beautiful bridesmaids look. We all we all agree they did an excellent job at the church. I think it's time for a well-deserved drink. Also, I'd like to say how lovely Emma's mum Chris and Stephen and Ruth look today. I hope you're enjoying this very special day. I'll pass you over back to Matthew, who's got some words about Steve's younger years.
David and I have known Steve for about 15 years now. First met at high school and have remained great friends ever since. Remember watching with interest as he drank his first pint. This led to a great deal of stumbling around, shouting and slurring of words. How reassuring it is now then that 10 years down the line, after one pint, you'll still find him stumbling around. Renowned for being a lightweight. Our friendship with Steve actually dates back to our first day at high school. I remember him being immediately drawn to him. It was an undefinable cool that covered him like a tartan blanket. I'm not sure if it was his haircut fashioned around one of his mother's mixing bowls. The skin-tight trousers that made him stand out from the crowd. Like an extra from Pineapple Studios. Was it his cool nickname Stigger that made him stand out from the crowd? Man, that boy had style. Talking about first days at school, David has one of Steve's old school reports which he's now going to share with us.
Okay, let's start with Steve's form tutor, Mr. Donaldson. Stephen has shown great progress and is well liked by his fellow students. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not aware that any of Stephen's teachers have ever questioned his intelligence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's the first sentence that ever has Steve and intelligence in common. Art. It's a pleasure to teach Stephen. He really seems to enjoy the subject. To this day, he's overjoyed when he manages to keep the colours within the lines.
And so is his boss.
Photography. Stephen is a great student, yada yada yada. Although there was one unfortunate incident where a camera was thrown at him. To this day, he still has flashbacks. I am sorry. French. Stephen has a real talent for languages, and he's one of my top students. This makes sense actually, because on the stag do he kept muttering French to the girls. Something about menage a trois. I'm not good on my French, but I think he wasn't doing any good because he kept speaking to a lot of older ladies. Whilst we're on the subject of stag do, it's great to see some of the gentlemen from the Newcastle trip here. It's just a shame the rest of the boys couldn't make bail, but we'll drink to the Newcastle 9 later. The stag do, as expected, was the usual tale of culture and sophistication. We're joined by Emma's father, who was bringing with tales of his drunken exploits of his youth and bragging about how he'd been drinking since 11 a.m. It was, however, something of a disappointment to find him fallen over unconscious by 7. And that was PM, by the way. Although to this day he swears blind it was to do with dodgy curry. Can I just say that I didn't want to put that in the speech? That's improv, I don't want to do that. As is customary on many a stag do, we tried to drag Steve to the local strip club. We were unable to get him there, but we managed to get him to the queue. But he seemed a bit anxious about being there. It became very apparent why he was anxious when two of the doormen seemed to point him out and drag him out of the queue and start questioning him with respect of an outstanding bar tab. I'm sure I heard something around of £1,000, but we'll give it back to the doubt. Can I just say my girlfriend's in here today, and I'm very much against the tabletop dancing culture. I'd like to say that I think it's sexist and degrading. I entered the club under extreme pressure. However, once in there, I used the opportunity to explore the underlying social and psychological factors that would make a woman want to work in such an environment. That said, after 10 private dances, I was none the wiser. We've talked about his past, perhaps now we should look to the future. Matthew has a few sage words of advice for Emma.
When we were researching the best man speech, it was suggested we should pass on some advice to the bride. So a few things for Emma to think about during the marriage. Number 1, cooking. Well, Emma, I'm sure you're aware Steve knows chef. I'm not denying he's a dab hand at putting a pizza in the oven, but don't expect anything much more adventurous. After all, Steve is the only person I know to ever read the instructions on foil. He really did. Number 2, DIY. I'm not sure if you're all aware, but Steve had a go at removing a washing machine. all keen and full of confidence, he disconnected the pipe from the wall, but in his haste hadn't turned the water off. Spent the rest of the afternoon mopping up the kitchen floor. So my advice to you is if anything needs doing around the house, get a man in. Number 3, money. One thing you don't need to worry about is money. Steve's always been cautious when it comes to taking out his wallet. And he's never in a rush to go to the bar. It's possibly a bit harsh. He's just very good at squirreling money away for a rainy day. So my advice to you, Emma, is make sure the bank accounts remain Mr. and Mrs. Hudson. Well, hopefully that advice will set you in good stead for the future. I'll now pass you back to Dave with a few more words he'd like to say.
Okay, we're nearly finished now, so hang in there.
No.
Can I just say, I didn't know anything about this pot, or whatever it is.
We weren't even allowed to put money in it.
You were?
Would you like to discuss it?
Can I just say, who's got what time are we on now?
9 minutes.
Oh,
9 minutes. Finish now.
9:42.
It's time for a comfort break.
I'll go along with that. I'll nice one, mate.
What you got?
21.
Actually, it's been quicker than we thought, actually.
Okay, so we're nearly finished. I just want to take this moment to thank Emma's mum and dad, Chris and Ian, and Steve's mum and dad, Ruth and Keith. as without their hard work and contribution, this day wouldn't have been possible. I think we'll all agree it's been a fantastic day so far, and everyone seems to be enjoying themselves. Oh yeah, sorry. Thank you for the gift, by the way.
I'm sorry.
You missed that bit out.
Also, I want to finish with a few concluding words about marriage. As you can imagine, it's been on the top of my mind the last few months, thinking about what to say for the speech. So I decided to think, what would you like to get married? All the organisation before the wedding, the dress, the church, the food, the invites, make sure the flowers arrive on time, the list goes on. The big day is often plagued by nerves and worry, hoping that everything goes perfectly. But when you strip away all this planning anxiety, you're left with a moment. A moment where two people commit to one each other for the rest of their lives. Whilst this may sound overwhelming to those who have not yet met the person they want to spend the rest of their lives with, we only have to look at Steve and Emma to glimpse at what an amazing thing marriage really is, when two people feel the way they do about each other. In many years' time, perhaps with children in tow, perhaps even grandchildren, they will look back at this very special day with great warmth and affection. Like any married couple, they will have their ups and downs, but I believe they are two far stronger couples to let anything break the bond they have. So Emma and Steve, an amazing journey starts today for both of you.
That's beautiful.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, by now I'm sure you've had enough from us.
No.
So, let me... should I say, I'm sure some of you have heard enough from us, others might be a little bit disappointed.
Can I just ask what time we're on?
12:06.
How are we working this out?
On
6 minutes to go.
So when are we deciding when to stop?
50-50.
When
When you've done the
When you finish.
Have you got to go to the toilet?
I am actually about being people. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
I've lost my thread now, haven't I? Start again.
Yes.
Please do.
Yes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure by now you've had enough from us, so let me take this great opportunity and pleasure and ask you all to charge your glasses. Toast the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Hudson.
Also, can we have one to the Newcastle Knights as well?
Yeah, to Newcastle Knights. Can we do them one at a time, please? Unfortunately, that's it.